Hello, welcome back to my channel. And happy Wednesday. Super excited to be starting this vlog. It is like 9:30. It's bright and freaking early. I am having a very chill day at home. I don't really have much on the agenda and I am desperate to get into some romance. I feel like that's kind of always the vibe on my channel. I mean, I pretty much only read romance, but I felt kind of slumpy for the past few days. I have been kind of focusing on other parts of my life. I'm actually babysitting my little sister's cats during her spring break, which has been really fun, but I feel like I need a me day where I just indulge in some romance. So I have a couple of different, or I guess 3 different romances that I'm hoping to read my way through today. This isn't going to be a full 24-hour vlog. It's going to be me just for Wednesday, like until 10 p.m., reading as much romance as I possibly can and giving you my thoughts and feelings. Also gonna like take you along with me as I go through my day, maybe get some cute b-roll footage of the cats for you. But before I do that, I need to finish getting ready for the day. I've mostly finished. I've gotten like my hair and my makeup mostly looking pretty good, but the final step in my getting ready routine is selecting some fragrance. I feel like I never really talked to y'all about fragrance, but it is a huge part of my day, huge part of my life, and has been for a really long time. So I am super excited to be sponsored by Scentbird today. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service where you pick out a new designer fragrance every month for just $17. It's the perfect subscription for people like me who really like trying different fragrances without having to commit to one like huge full-size bottle. I've personally been wearing like fine fragrance since I was about 13. I remember going to the store with my mom when I turned 13 and I was like, okay, mom, I don't want to wear body sprays anymore. I want to wear something fancy. And I remember picking out my first bottle of perfume. I think it was like Tommy Girl or something like that. And I just felt really cool and really grown up with fragrance. And that really has not changed over the years. I love fine fragrance and I just love experimenting with different scents. But since I have been wearing perfume for honestly, oh God, I don't even want to think about how many years at this point, I feel like I've gotten kind of used to and have like tried all of various fragrances that are really readily available. And I don't know, I feel like I'm constantly on the hunt for something really, really unique, which is why I love Scentbird. They have over 600 scents to choose from, so like basically endless options. And they have not only designer fragrances, but also indie labels, which is something that I personally look for when I am looking for new perfumes. I also love that with Scentbird, you get a 30-day supply of a fragrance, so you definitely have plenty of time to figure out if it's a scent that you like. When Scentbird comes to you, it comes wrapped really, really well and securely in a box, and each of the fragrances comes in this little like drawstring bag, and then they come in these really beautiful cases that you can spray your perfume directly from. All you have to do is switch from the locked position to open, and then you just spray yourself. Also, you can see what fragrance you have by just like undoing the front of it, the little magnet. It's super, super easy. That way you know exactly like what perfume you're getting, and it's such a generous size too. Like you're getting so much fragrance. But let me tell you about the 4 fragrances that I selected for this month. The first fragrance that I selected is L'Occitane's Neroli and Orchidee, which is basically like neroli and orchid. I picked this one specifically because I like neroli as like a fragrance note with notes of lemon, neroli, and vanilla. The second fragrance I picked out is English Laundry's Oxford Blue. This is actually a cologne, which I like to select from time to time. I feel like fragrance in general is a very unisex thing, and you can pick from perfume or cologne. It really doesn't matter. This one I love more than I expected to, and I expected to love it quite a bit. This one has notes of mint, vanilla, tonka, green apple, and vetiver, and it really just smells like a really like expensive, sexy man or woman or person. Like it really doesn't matter. Again, fragrance is unisex, but I am obsessed with this. Third fragrance I picked out is kind of a wild card pick for me, and it is Pink Sugar's Red Velvet. I used to wear the original Pink Sugar back in high school and absolutely loved it. This one has notes of strawberry, red fruits, gourmand accord, caramel, and vanilla. And then saving my favorite for last, we have House of Sillage Haute Bijou, I believe is how you say it. The full bottle of this perfume is really stunning, and when I saw it on the website, I was instantly drawn in. Like kind of looks like a cupcake. I didn't know what to expect, but when I saw the note of iris in it, I decided like, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to try this out. It's a note that works really well with my personal body chemistry, and the notes of this one are grapefruit, mango, iris, heliotrope, and amber. And I think this is the one that I am going to wear today. So again, all you have to do is twist and spray, and then I always make sure to moisturize my wrist and apply to my wrist, but never rub your wrist together because it will crush your top notes. Like me and you love trying different perfumes and you want 1 to 3 fragrances arriving at your doorstep every month, and if you don't want to have to deal with trying to throw full-size bottles of perfume into your purse, make sure to use the QR code on the screen or click the link in my description down below and use my code Chandler for 55% off your first month at Scentbird. That's only $8 for your first month. Thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now that I am fully ready for my day, let's go ahead and go to Starbucks and grab some fuel for our reading adventure. Y'all, Toby is like, well, first of all, he's the cutest ever. He's so purry. I like don't want to leave him. Okay, so I am like 67 pages into Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I'm thinking I might actually go to the lake by my house. Oh, I did not realize there was like buzz hanging from my microphone this whole time. Okay, I might go to the lake by my house to read more of this because I feel like I'm not getting anything done. I did have some stuff come up with work, so like I've not gotten as much reading done anyway as I want to, but also I just feel a little stifled and it's so pretty outside, so I think I might go outside and read and take you with me. But so far it's pretty cute. This book is about our two main characters, Bradley and Celine. Bradley is like a footballer. He's kind of popular, I would say, at school, but I wouldn't say he's like a douchebag or anything. He has OCD, which I think is really cool. I feel like we don't often see mental health rap for dudes in YA books. And then we have Celine, who is kind of like uptight type A sort of gal, and she is going to apply to this like nature sort of adventure situation. Basically, if she wants a full tuition scholarship, she can go to participate in this program where you go and try to be like a survivalist, I guess, in the wilderness for a while. And it's sponsored by this like badass career woman. I think she might be an attorney or something like that. Celine has always looked up to this person, and she's like determined again to get her scholarship to go to a university of her choice because I think her parents split up about 10 years ago, and her mom, like, while she can make ends meet at this point, is not exactly like swimming in money. And so Celine wants to, you know, get that scholarship and become a badass attorney. I guess like not prove her dad wrong, but her dad is kind of the worst. He was two-timing her mom, and she just like wants to be cooler than him. I think Brad actually also wants to be an attorney. He's a star football player, but he does want to be an attorney as well. So they both kind of like butt heads on that. I don't actually know the history between Bradley and Celine yet. I'm sure we'll like unveil that, or that'll be revealed to us as I continue to read the story. But so far it's kind of an enemies to lovers thing. There's also a lot of banter, and I like it, but I will say this book has been like kind of hard for me to get into. I was really excited about it because I love Talia Hibbert, and I don't know if it's just been a while since I've read something by her, or if her like YA stuff is just different than her adult stuff. I mean, obviously it is because it's YA, but I feel like I'm like stumbling over the words as I'm reading. It's not as seamless, and I think it's because there's a lot of like references and I guess like quippy things in there because these two don't like each other, but I'm tentatively excited. I'll be interested to see how these two like kind of face off in this competition. I guess our hero decided that he wants to, we use the word hero when it's a YA book. Bradley has decided that he might actually apply for this program because it would help his family out if he also got a scholarship, and he's also like, oh, like if Celine's gonna do this, like I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna compete with her or compete against her. So I'll be interested to see like how they butt heads. I don't know. It's cute so far. I'm kind of bummed because it's like 3:30 at this point, and I don't think I'll be able to finish 3 books, but I do think I'll be able to finish 2. And this one and the Tessa Bailey book that I was holding up are ones that like I'm most excited about. I also grabbed the score because I just filmed my video where I talk about the top 10 sports romances of all time according to y'all, and it just really made me want to reread the score, but like not super high priority. So this and the Tessa Bailey, like I think I can get through both of these in the next few hours. So anyway, I'm gonna bring this to the lake. I'm gonna bring you to the lake, and we can just hang out. It'll be a fun time. All right, so I am back home. The weather started getting a little bit like dark and eerie, so I decided I'd read at home. But I was able to get about 50% into Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. I think I'm liking it. I'm definitely liking it more the farther I'm getting into it, but it is still like tripping me up with the writing. And it's not that the writing's bad, I'm just like having issues, so I think that's just a me thing. But the stakes have kind of stepped up a little bit. We have Bradley and Celine both getting into that like wilderness adventure program or whatever, trying to win a scholarship, and they've had their first excursion. I think there's like 1 or 2 excursions conditions before they go on like the real deal, where they're going to have to survive in the wilderness of Scotland for a while, which sounds pretty intense. But they had like a kind of heart-to-heart moment, or like a confession moment, where they kind of talk through what went wrong. And basically Bradley just wasn't willing to stand up for Celine whenever he was trying to make friends at their high school, and so their friendship kind of fell apart because of that. She's kind of like a little quirky, and so I think that he wasn't embarrassed of her necessarily, but he knew that she was like kind of embarrassing herself, and so he had like secondhand embarrassment for her. They kind of hash that out, and they actually collaborate on like a birthday party situation. One of their like fellow campers is turning 18 while they're out there, and they decide to like put on a little party for her, and it's really cute. I love seeing all of the different side characters interact. I like Aurora, who is the person whose like birthday I guess it was, and I liked seeing Bradley and Celine have to like come up with this party for her, kind of like out of nowhere and in the middle of nowhere. So it's cute. I'm liking it. I'm not like totally sold. I feel like I wish we had seen flashback moments. I don't necessarily think we needed to see flashback moments, but I feel like that one conversation wasn't enough to like fully satisfy me as to like why these two weren't friends. I mean, I guess it does, but like I also kind of want to see more of their like past history together, because they were apparently best friends since like elementary school, because both of their moms were friends. So I don't know. I'm liking it. I think it's cute. It's definitely, I mean, it's a YA book, but I wanted to read it because I feel like I've heard so many people like this book, and a lot of people who don't normally read YA really enjoyed this. So that being said, I think I'm going to set this one aside for just a little bit. Like I said, I'm 50% and I'm definitely going to finish it in this vlog, but I just kind of want to start reading Secretly Yours. I really need to take this ugly Costco sticker off of the front cover. For some reason, my Target did not have this when it released, which surprised me because I feel like they always have Tessa Bailey books at my Target, but I was able to find it at Costco the very same day, so that's nice. Secretly Yours. I don't know much about this one, but I do know that it is a series, and the second book comes out in June. It's like a standalone. They're all standalones, but Tessa has been hyping up the next book in the series, I would say more than this one, so I'm hoping that this one is actually good. But I know that it's about a main character, Hallie, and it's like a girl falls first romance. Like she's had a crush on this guy named Julian for a while, and I think she's going to find a way to get with him. I don't know the details, but I'm going to get started with it and let you know how I feel. I'll probably let you know in the car, because hopefully Hayden will agree to go get dinner out tonight. Okay, so I am now 84 pages into Secretly Yours, and I think switching books was certainly the way to go here. Not that the Talia Hibbert book is bad, but I'm already laughing out loud at this, and it's just so much, I don't want to say so much more readable, because it sounds like I don't like that other book, and I don't feel that way. Like, I don't dislike it, but this one, it just feels smoother and a little easier for me to get through. So this book's about our main character, Hallie, and she is a gardener. She took over for her grandmother, who is recently deceased, and she's a little bit of a wild card, shall we say. She's kind of upset that things are changing in her hometown, I believe. At the beginning of the story, we see her getting day drunk at a wine bar that is no longer very successful because it's run by an elderly woman, and I guess she just like hasn't been keeping up with the times. And there's a store next door that has like a disco ball and is like really successful. She thinks that that establishment is disrespectful, so she tries to like sabotage them and stuff. Hayden's arrived at the cookies.
I was trying to peek through the back window.
Very menacing. Okay, well, let me get through this and then we can sample our cookies. I mean, we've already had these ones. We actually are coming back for our second crumble of the week, but
for revenge.
But, God, what was I saying? Oh, so, yeah, Hallie is, like, I don't know, kind of a hot mess is what we figure out, and a little bit, maybe, I don't want to say she has a drinking problem, but she drinks a lot. I mean, she lives in Napa, so, like, I don't know if that's just, like, par for the course there or what, but she comes back into contact with her childhood crush named Julian. He is very straight-laced, the total opposite basically of Hallie. She comes in contact with him again because she stages her own meet cute, right? Like, she doesn't let things happen naturally. She's going to make things happen. So she ends up calling this man's mom and saying like, hey, do you want me to plant some flowers at your house? And she's like, yeah, sure. And her son is staying with her because he is writing his novel. He's taking a break from being a professor and he's writing a novel. They have some like fun times together. I was laughing out loud at the prank call situation that they get themselves into. Hayden can attest because I was a little bit loud. I'm very into this. I wasn't expecting much because I feel like the reviews that I've seen for this have been very mixed, very all over the place. I'm not saying this is going to be like my favorite romance ever. It doesn't have, I don't want to say I don't like this trope, but I tend not to like this trope of the girl being like obsessed with the guy. He can't even really remember her from a while ago. Like, he's older than her, and I think she tried to kiss him at one point. She was like 14 at a party, and he was like, no, I'm not into this. I don't think he was like that much older.
Okay.
I think he was like, no, I think he was like,
I was like, yeah, see why you said no.
No, he was still in high school, I'm pretty sure too, but like, he just wasn't down to give her a kiss. At least I'm pretty sure. And yeah, he doesn't remember who she is, and she's trying to play it off like she doesn't know him either, even though she totally does. And I think she just made perhaps a mistake because she gets really drunk with her friend one night after eating a bunch of pasta at a restaurant. Her friend like jokingly says something to the effect of like, oh, maybe you should like leave him little breadcrumbs, like little secret admirer notes on his run, basically, because he like runs the same path every day. Gonna assume that she ends up doing that. But she doesn't remember anything from that night, and he just saved her from a pretty tricky situation. But you know what? I don't want to like spoil the whole plot for you. I mean, granted, I'm only 80 pages in, so I don't have much to spoil, and I think most of this is in the synopsis, but it's fine. It's Tessa Bailey. He has already mentioned how big this woman's tits are, so, you know, he's a classic Tessa Bailey hero. Although he's a little different than I feel like some of the other ones we've read. He's a little less like alpha male, like dude bro-y, I don't know. He's a professor, and
He likes her ass too.
He's cultured, a man of culture. I guess we can eat our cookies now. You know what? I wanted to keep things entertaining for you, which is why I decided to come out. Ooh, she's warm. To, you know.
Sure, that's why you decided.
It is. Well, here's the thing. We're going to be stuck at home after this because the weather's shit, and also, like, what else do I'm going to be in bed reading with the cats. So,
yeah,
I was
but
like,
they're good
they
cats.
are good cats. But I was like, oh, this
And
is
you got
nice.
new ones. You got new exciting cats.
I know. I showed the people already.
I know.
Toby's very cute. He was in my last
I feel like you can't get enough Tobe, though.
Tobe is a great one. Okay, Crumble. This week's flavors. Oh, she's wow.
She better than
Well,
round
here's
one.
the thing. Usually round 2, the cookies are always worse, and I don't know why that is.
Not for me.
But the proportion of icing to cookie is really popping off, and by that I mean you cannot really see where the cookie starts because it's all icing.
And then for me, I got the cookies and cream, and my icing ratio is also really good because there's less icing than last time. So
Hayden's not an icing boy,
Yeah.
and I could drown in icing, which is interesting because I feel like that used to not be me. Like, if you give me a cupcake, I don't necessarily want a ton of frosting, but if it's got cream cheese or something, I'm here for it. This technically doesn't, but it tastes like it. This is the Lucky Charm Mallow Cream cookie. It's got like little white chips in it, and it's fucking awesome. And I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this. Let me take a little bite-see for the camera. You having a moment over there?
I mean, look at it. There's like, it's just like it's a humble drizzle.
What kind of drizzle is this? Yeah, that goes pretty fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie. I also think the Lucky Charms add a really nice textural piece. Most of these cookies just end up tasting like Dunkaroos. I like
What are
that.
the little like chips in there?
White?
White chocolate or just white?
I don't know.
I have white ones in mine too.
I think maybe they just had extra and they were just like, put them in there, and they just don't mention it.
I'm gonna snag just a white here. It's weird because it doesn't taste like white chocolate. What, did you almost drop the whole thing?
Don't worry about me, sweetheart. Alright friends, I am home, obviously. I enjoyed the last of my cookie, and I am 50% into Secretly Yours by Miss Tessa Bailey. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. At the 50% mark, we have had some like semi-intimate moments, and we also have a heroine who's inexperienced, which I feel like I haven't read in a Tessa Bailey book before. Not saying it hasn't happened. I haven't read a lot of her backlist. I don't remember if it was this book or a different book I was looking at by her, but it like detailed, okay, yeah, this is one of them. Details all of the books. Details all of the books that she has written, and I have not read like the vast majority of them, but I haven't read any of her books that have like an experienced heroine, so that's interesting. I know some people really don't like that trope or like inclusion. I'm not really sure, but I think it's realistic. Like, there are plenty of people out there who are sexually inexperienced, so I think that's fun. It is kind of like all over the place and a little bit of a mess, but like not in a bad way. I think a lot of the reviews I've seen have said that like this does feel a little chaotic. I was just talking to a patron in Discord, and they were saying that they thought this was kind of like all over the place and a little messy plot wise. I kind of like it. It feels like true to life, and I think that even though Tessa Bailey's books can feel a little quirky, or the heroines can feel a little quirky, I like that there's layers to it, you know? There's so many different things to laugh at and so many different things to have fun with, and I like that. Like, I don't need things to be serious all the time, you know? This isn't like hitting quite as hard as It Happened One Summer for me, mostly because that one I think is just always going to be special for me for so many reasons. But I do like that each character has things they're trying to work through. Our hero is trying to kind of break out of this box he's been in. He has anxiety and he really likes sticking to a schedule. The idea of getting off schedule causes him a lot of anxiety. And now that he knows Hallie, he is trying to kind of break out of that a little bit. He knows that like he needs to change the way he's doing things. And then Hallie, she doesn't really feel fully confident in who she is, and she doesn't exactly know what she wants out of life in a sense. Mostly because like she traveled around so much with her mom growing up and just never really got to plant her roots and really figure out herself. She says something to the effect of like, I try to keep myself busy so I don't have to think too much about like who I am. I was like, oh fuck, that really got me. So I don't know, I like this. I think it's cute. Is it going to like change my life? Probably not, but maybe it will. I think I'm gonna keep reading and I will update you whenever I feed the cats. Hopefully I'll be done with this book and then we can move on to finishing Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. All right, hopefully this isn't too artsy. I just fed the cats, or at least I'm like in the process of feeding 5 cats. It's a lot. I'm learning 5 cats is definitely like my personal limit. I'm like out of breath. Okay, I was gonna give you a final update on Secretly Yours. So I ended up really liking it. I thought it was cute. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Was it my favorite Tessa Bailey book? No. I feel like the relationship development was just a touch lacking. It felt kind of lust-based for me, which isn't the worst thing. Like, the sex scenes I thought were really hot, and I had a fun time reading it, but I feel like there was just something missing. And I think maybe it was the fact that there was too much time spent on the secret admirer timeline for my taste. It didn't really feel like it added that much to the story, even though that was like the premise of it. I feel like I really wanted more exploration of the fact that our heroine has been like pining for this guy for a while. And I guess that was like the point of the secret admirer stuff. If you read the book, I think you'll understand like nothing really happens because of that, which is sort of a bummer because I feel like, I don't know, that's just like one of my favorite things in romance. I personally really love when we have one or both of the characters pining for a really long time. I will say to this book's credit, I wasn't upset by the fact that our heroine like cared more for the hero at the beginning of the story. He instantly has an attraction to her and just likes her personality. So at least it's not like an unrequited love situation for the whole book where he's like fighting his attraction for her. Like, he's very aware of it. He doesn't really want to fight it. If anything, she pushes back because she's like, he doesn't know me like I know him, or like I think I know him. So I don't know, there were a lot of good pieces. I just feel like there were a couple of things I wanted to be executed just a little bit better. That being said, I'm not mad at the book. I still really enjoyed it. And again, like the sex scenes were hot as hell. And I'm really excited for the next book in the series because we already kind of have we have some foreshadowing to think that this might be a good enemies to lovers story. So I'm really excited to give that one a try in June when it comes out. I'm sure I'll be reading it here on my channel, but so far I'm having a great reading night. I'm actually about to go put my PJs on and I'm gonna finish that Talia Hibbert book and we can finish off the vlog. I hope this isn't too short. Haven't started editing yet, so I hope this isn't too short of a vlog, but taking you along with me for my day. And it's been kind of a short day, it feels like. All right, friends, I have a Honey and a Toby on the bed. He's in here. That's besides the point, okay? It's the end of the night, and I did finish Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, so overall, a pretty good reading day. 2 books in one day is pretty good. I don't know, I feel like pressure, I guess, whenever I do 24-hour reading vlogs or like day-long reading vlogs to read as much as humanly possible, but I feel like I actually got to luxuriate with these 2 books, and that's kind of a nice change of pace, so I'm glad that I only read 2 books, to be honest. Only read 2 books. I mean, that's still a lot. So this actually turned out to be really cute, surprising no one. I really liked how persistent Bradley was at showing Celine how much he liked her. He was like, no, we're not just friends. We are more than that. And like, I really like you and I'm not going to pretend like I don't like you just because you're scared. All right, sir. You were so cute. Back to the task at hand. Yeah, I just really liked Bradley's character. I also really liked just the mental health representation. Bradley has OCD and maybe anxiety or maybe just OCD. I don't know. I found that rep really good. I just liked his character a lot. I think he was like, I don't want to say the saving grace of this book. I didn't dislike Celine, but I thought she was like a little prickly for my taste, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I like a good prickly female main character, and I think a lot of like high schoolers could see themselves in Celine, which I really like. I also liked the adventurous side of things, and I also liked it didn't go on too long. I was wondering like how much of a part that would play in the book, and it wasn't too much, which I appreciated. I just feel like this is a really cute YA romance. I think even adult romance lovers would enjoy this just because Talia Hibbert's writing is just so fun. Obviously it's not like a sexy book. There's a couple of like chaste makeouts, which I thought was really precious. And some parts of this, I think it's just because it's British, reminded me a little bit of Heartstopper. I think it's just because of like the coziness of like visiting each other's houses and like being friends first. I think that's kind of what's doing it. And also just like the big friend group and stuff. I don't know, it was really charming and delightful. Oh, also the friendship between Bradley and I think Jordan is his friend's name. It's just so fucking sweet. Like the way that they're so supportive of each other and they kind of like tease each other in like a heartwarming way. I loved that. Also Celine had some really great friends as well, but Bradley, like, oh, he was my fave. I really like this book. I'm gonna be keeping this on my shelves. I don't know what I would rate this because it didn't do a lot for me in terms of the story itself. Like, I don't personally see myself revisiting a coming of age YA story, but it was still a good one. You know what I mean? Like, objectively, this is really great in terms of, is this my perfect book? No, I mean, it's a YA book, and that's just not what I'm in the market for typically. So I would say maybe like a 3.5 or a 4-star. It was cute. I really liked it. I don't know. Yeah, I just had like a really overall good reading day. I think I would recommend picking both of these books up. Again, I know that this book has, I would say, sir, I would say this book tends to have pretty like middling reviews. Oh, and now the tripod is sinking down, so I guess I'll sink down with it. I feel like Goodreads has pretty middling reviews of this book. It has like a 3.4 or something like that on Goodreads. Not very favorable reviews. Hopefully me throwing my rating and review into the ring will help bring that rating up just a little bit. But I actually liked this. I thought it was cute. I wouldn't expect like the swooniest romance ever, but also like, I mean this in the most loving way possible. Are you going into a Tessa Bailey book really expecting swoon, right? Like, I think for the most part, we're just expecting some banging, and that's what happened in this book. She'll surprise us every once in a while, but like, this is what it needed to be. This is exactly what it needed to be. This one here. They were cute. I've had a good time with it, and I'm glad I got to take you along with me for part of my day, so thank you for spending it with me. Love y'all so much, and until next time.